Welcome to the Improve and Have Fun podcast. My name is Paul PVP Perez, and on this podcast, I work on improving myself while having fun along the way. And this podcast is also me documenting my life, which is something that I'm going to go ahead and get into in this episode. And in this episode, I discuss a life update, what's been going on with me, and I wanted to talk about that now. In the last episode, myself, Jason G, and David McKay went ahead and reviewed Ready Player One. And you can check that out on the website at improveandhavefun.com if you like movie reviews. There's a ton of movie reviews on there, and there's many more to come. But that's not related to this particular episode. So let's go ahead and get into it. So it's going to be a bunch of topics of, like I said, what's been going on with me lately. And I'm going to read what I wrote down to you now. First one is, I've contemplated leaving my current job and working from home. I like the people I work with. The job itself is excellent. I've been doing front desk work close to 20 years, so the work is pretty much the same. The commute from home to work is the quickest it's ever been. A few months ago, I discovered the Rat Race Rebellion website. They promote various work-from-home job opportunities. This intrigues me as I want to try this for a time. It's definitely piquing my curiosity. I'm contemplating leaving my current situation now or waiting a year, then making the jump to working from home. Everyone says it looks better on the resume if you stay at a place for at least a year. I'm leaning towards waiting a year. The pay rate of the jobs offered on Rat Race Rebellion does not pay as much as my current job, but my transportation and dry cleaning costs will be significantly reduced. Looking for a work from home opportunity yourself? Do check out Rat Race Rebellion. This is not an advertisement for them. I'm not being paid to say this, but I've just spent several hours just looking this over and really thinking, man, I can really do this. I can really go ahead and try this. The downside of working from home that you read everywhere is that, it could be a little depressing. You're by yourself, that you don't have no coworkers to talk to. But I do still want to try this for a period of time. I think my dream is to work from home during the winter months, especially. But let's see in a year. Let's see what happens. Now, the next part of this life update is my mother and I haven't been talking as much, and personally this has been bothering me, and I'm going to go ahead and get into it. My mom had a health scare recently. She was in the hospital for a couple of days. My older brother and sister, they live in Arizona. That's where my mom lives. My older brother actually lives with my mom. They were by her side along with my niece. My younger brother, who lives in Yonkers, several miles away from where I live, flew out to be by her side. I didn't go. I took solace in knowing that they were all there. I thought, with everyone there, will she need me there? I kept phone contact with my siblings throughout this time. I spoke with her a few days after she was released and back home. She was upset I wasn't there. We both said hurtful things to each other. It didn't help that shortly after this medical scare, I went on my trip to Jamaica. A trip I planned for months before. She made me feel as if I chose that over her. Because of this, we haven't been talking as much lately. And this hurts. We are not entirely on non-speaking terms. Our relationship on the whole over the years, we get along, but we disagree often. We can both be very stubborn. I have some resentment towards her, but on the flip side, I'm very proud of her. She did so much for us, myself and my siblings, but isn't that what parents should do? Do I have to repay her back for what she's done for me? I tried justifying my not speaking with her by asking coworkers, in your deathbed, who do you want by your side, your mother or your wife and kids? My male coworkers chose the latter. I love my mother. I want her to be happy and healthy. I've never been one to call family or friends, for that matter, every week or spending every holiday together. I'm okay with seeing family and friends every once in a while. While my mother and I were going back and forth, she did say something that I do want to explore further, and that's seeing a therapist. She said that I do have a lot of stuff I have to get off my chest. Unresolved issues from my parents' divorce when I was a child is a key point. An appointment to see a therapist has been set. I've made the appointment already. Now, the next life update is I've begun tattooing motivational quotes on my body. With all these great books and podcasts I listen to and I speak about here on the podcast, I'm attempting to remember these incredible lessons and quotes. The two I've done so far, and I'll put pictures in the video version if you're watching the video version, is Ego is the Enemy, which is inspired by Ryan Holiday's book of the same name. Biggest takeaways for that book is coming very soon. And the second tattoo I've gotten on my chest, which says, I love you so much. And this was influenced by Kamal Ravikant's Love Yourself book. And there's definitely more to come. Now, the next life update here is Backpage has been shut down and Variety and Escorts is way down. As of this writing, Backpage has been shut down by the FBI. I miss using it for escort services. Various reports I've read online said it was closed due to accusations of child and sex trafficking. From the time I've spent on the website, I never saw anything that dealt with either. Was it done covertly? Maybe. The sex workers I met through the website were not underage. One of my goals of this year, 2018, was to not have a girlfriend, to solicit sex workers and get my intimacy needs met. And so far, so good on that goal. Other websites are available but with fewer options than Backpage. And I know prostitution is illegal, but it's the oldest profession in the world, and I guess I'm justifying it by saying that. But it's what I prefer right now over having a girlfriend. And I don't think it's going to be like that forever, but you never know. The next life update is I've once again repurchased most of my video equipment, the on-off saga of me selling my stuff. Within the last year, I've purchased and sold the same stuff several times. My justification at the time, I'm not using it right now, so sell it. Listening to a recent interview with Monica from the You Wanna Do What podcast, which was on Dave Jackson's School of Podcasting podcast, she said, we're often told to do the thing that we're most passionate about. On the flip side, and I'm paraphrasing here, she has many passions and not just one, and she wants to pursue them all. I love this because I thought that I'm the same. Recording video is fun, but I don't always get around to doing it. I'm on this minimalist kick at times where I think I should get rid of anything I don't regularly use. Having my creative tools on hand, though, when inspiration arises, is convenient. I'm now in the process of, once again, acquiring all the video equipment back, and this time I'm going to make sure to keep it. The second to last life update here is with the spring here, I've become reinvigorated to try new things once again. When it's cold, wet, snowy outside, all I want to do is stay inside. But because of this, I got back into video games by purchasing a PS3 and playing old games I never got to experience. I'm just about finishing Dead Rising 2 off the record, and what a phenomenal game. That being said, the weather is getting nicer out, and I don't want to stay indoors as much, and this is where the trying the new things that I haven't tried before come in. New things I recently experienced was go-kart racing in Jersey City. This track called RPM Raceway. I'm going to go ahead and leave a link for that so you can check it out. Also, rock climbing in Hoboken. I thought I could add rock climbing and bowling to my regular workout regimen, as I also went recently to check out a bowling alley that's right by my house. That it's been there since I moved here, and I've just never got the guts to go check it out. And I'm that single guy bowling at the bowling alley, but like I said, it's good to have all these options, and I'd rather experience something first, where if I have a friend or if I in the future want to date someone and they're in this area, I can take them to go do cool things because I've been there before. But rock climbing and the bowling, I definitely want to add to my workout regimen and just to switch things up for sure. And finally, the final life update here is I realized that this podcast is part vlog or written uh, journal. And lately, I've been putting up a lot more video. If you've noticed, if you're a subscriber to this podcast, to this YouTube channel, thank you so much. And I want to add even more and different kinds of videos. I want to add dance videos. I want to add more vlog videos, more art videos, photography. Like if I go out and take a bunch of pictures of things that I think are interesting. And this is basically just me essentially documenting my life. And I want to delve more into the personal stuff and not just always the self-improvement stuff. I just feel sometimes with the self-improvement stuff, I love reading it. I love surrounding myself with it, but it's kind of one ear and out the other. That's why I'm starting to tattoo these things on my body, because there's so many great hints and great tips, but it's hard just to do everything all the time. So what I meant to say by that is that's kind of almost disposable sometimes, because there's also a million podcasts talking about self-development stuff. But in terms of talking about like your own unique point of view, there is nobody else talking about your life the way you talk about it or the way you present it. So I guess that's the one thing that could be specific, unique to this podcast, is just me talking about my experience and me sharing how I see the world, with also the hopes of, and I said this before, connecting with other like-minded people where we can then have a conversation. Or like if you totally disagree with me and I want to talk to you too, that's cool. So definitely want to dig more into that stuff on the podcast. And I'm going to end it right there for this particular episode. I have a bunch of cool things coming up. Have the review for the game I mentioned in this episode, Dead Rising 2. I recently started getting back into buying comic books, more graphic novels, but just to give my eyes a break from the screens. Because of the playing of the video games, going to work and look at screens, like while I'm eating, looking at a screen. So just wanted to get my eyes off of screens. And I recently finished up this comic book that I brought to purposely get my eyes off of a screen. I actually brought the paper version of it, not the Comixology version. But I probably will use that Comixology version in the video for the episode. But it's called Bingo Love, and this comic book was fantastic. It had me in tears and it had me smiling, and I want to go ahead and share more of that in this podcast, and then it's coming very soon. But this is the Improve and Have Fun podcast. If you have any thoughts, comments, suggestions, I'm going to go ahead and leave all that information in the show notes or in the description for this video. As always, if you leave a review on iTunes or just give me a thumbs up on this video, and leave your name or leave a comment, I will definitely shout you out. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And I am out. Catch you on the next one.